Picture on the roof over there. Anyway. Guys, it's Monday.
It's Monday. I just said hello. I don't know what I said hello for.
Well, hello, Jack. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, we're just done our sprint planning, going what we're doing this week. For me, it's finishing up the hexeed DLC. Shouldn't take too much longer, touch wood, to get that done. And other than that, it is colouring pixels. So there's the next DLC that Jack's been working on. You get that store page out there. Hopefully get announced by the end of the week. And lots touching the.
He's doing something.
The white balance is really off. Sorry.
As well as that, we're getting close to actually having the next Switch collection complete as well. So I'll be getting some of the assets done for that, like the logo and the localization store page sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be primarily colouring pixels, but today, however, I'm going to be doing some Skystead stuff. So the play bag, the different variations for Mew Mew, the Corgi, and the last one, I forget the name of. Animal Lover one. Yeah, I haven't got a design for that yet, but I'll whip something up. So today should be a fun day. And I think Laura's going to be doing the big assets for Skystead, such as the broken wheel and the house extensions, I think.
Yeah, there's a few different house extensions to do, isn't there?
Just breaking some assets and then making some new ones.
What am I doing? I don't know, probably saving and loading, play progression, all that stuff, Skystead stuff. Boring.
Okay, so our new volunteer's been using the iPad today, so it's given me a chance to do some more Skystead work. And considering I didn't want to commit to anything such as a Skylet or the character, I thought I would finally update the texturing on the player bag. So this is the base look here, and overall I'm quite happy with it. I did add in a few bit of extra details now that I've got the luxury of substance painting. So we've got the buckle holes now, and we've got the some stitching here, and overall it just looks a lot more nicer and looks a bit more clean too. But yeah, so this one didn't take too long, but I then did jump straight over to the Mew Mew version. And this looks pretty close to the original design. I'm actually quite happy with this. If I quickly pull up the original, it's pretty close. I was quite happy that I got it so close to actually. I said I did add in the stitching too, and I did go a bit more overboard on the highlights this time, as the base colour is quite light, so it definitely needed a bit more of a vibrant highlight. And overall, I think this came out quite well. And as for now, I'm currently working on the third one, which is the Corgi. So I've kind of got the base colours in. I haven't gotten too far yet. Such as this to material. But it's going along pretty well. It's looking pretty close to the original. I need to go in and add in all the depth shading and things like that. But once we get that done, it should be good to go.
Okay, yeah, so today I've been working on, today and yesterday, some saving and loading stuff. There were a couple of things that still weren't synced, so the starting objects that are in the world that aren't in this scene, so that's a great example. All of the trees and rocks that start in the world, they weren't synced, so whenever you loaded the game back up, they reappeared again, so it was like an infinite money, and it also like kind of glitched out when you built stuff. That's all fixed. The day and time of day as well is also fixed, so that's a bit more syncing up. But you see, I just quickly shut off there the UI for destroying things. It's one of the things that has come up quite a lot every time we've done show and tell, is that the old way of like identifying where you were like going to destroy something was a bit jank and a bit awkward. So I've added this sort of like a target reticle thing. I don't know, I don't think it looks great, but it's something. I think it's a bit much, honestly, but now you can quite easily select when you're in the destruction mode to destroy things. It's really cool, and I have no idea why the health is disappearing. That's another bug altogether.
I've been bouncing around a lot today on the projects I've been working on. I've been hard at work on the Colouring Pixels DLC as well as doing some Skystead stuff, but I also have done some little bits of artwork for the new DLC for Wooloop to help the guys design some levels, and it's all based around magic, so had quite a lot of fun designing these. I'm really enjoying using different sorts of colour palettes to bring things out. This is one of them, sort of like a magical wizardry hat with a wand. And the second one is this really cool sort of, I think what you call them, like a magical orb, what's it called, like a magical sphere? Anyway, magical orb, that's what I'm calling it. But yeah, so I put a little night sky in it because it kind of adds the nice sort of blue tone to the background here, and hopefully this blue background will also work nice in Wooloop. So hopefully when the guys get around making this will translate quite well over to the Wooloop as well. So we'll see what it looks like. I'm going to maybe do a few more as I'm quite enjoying them. Okay, so it's been another busy day of the Ocean DLC of Colouring Pixels, and it's coming along quite well. I've done a few small ones today to try and catch up, as I've been, quite busy doing other stuff as well. I'll probably having a day off tomorrow. So I want to get a few levels done. But I've sort of slowed down. I'm working on this bigger image, which is I think it's what they're called, the Moai statues on Easter Island. Now, there's already an Easter Island sort of piece of artwork in Coloring Pixels, so I've tried my hardest to make it significantly different. And there's actually a sort of lineup of these Moai statues. That's a loud bus. And there's a lineup of these Moai statues on the Easter Island, which was a really cool sort of like design, and there's 15 of them. I'll put this image here so Lee can put a little reference below it. So it's taken quite a while, because I've got to draw all 15, but I've got 4 done, and I'm trying to capture all their sort of different sort of designs in each. They're all similar, but very subtle in little ways. So hopefully I can get this done fairly promptly, and this should be my, I think, 16th image? 17th? 17th. So yeah, going pretty well.
So hexeed update, I've just finished up the DLC, so obviously still needs a lot of QA testing, but all the actual levels have been created. So last night, I was working all day yesterday and getting all the levels done, like all the normal levels, they've all been pushed, ready to be tested, and today I've just finished up the milestones and finale. I've got all these done today as well. So yeah, they're all ready to be tested by Rob. All that's left is going to be the actual announcements and making DLC live, and that's not until the end of next month. So yeah, pretty good progress, finally back on top of this. Now I can move on to other stuff. So one of the tasks that I almost forgot about yesterday, which I did this morning instead, was the achievements for the Flags DLC. They've all uploaded now, ready to be tested. Our volunteer Kai is very kindly going to test them for us momentarily, because they have actually gone through and played all the levels, whereas I've only played Rob's levels and Rob's only played mine, so neither of us have the completed DLC to check this final one. So just to save a bit of time, thankfully they're going to be checking that for us. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that goes well. So if you look over on the Troller board, that's all that's left now, is these achievements to be QA tested. Took a long time to get them all localized, but that's all done now as well. Just keep on top of that to make sure I don't fall behind again. But yeah, that's that completely done. A couple of level fixes, they've been done and retested, and everything else is ready to go for tomorrow's release. But yeah, I'm going to take a bit of a step over to Coloring Pixels now, because we have the the collection 4 information. The Switch testing has also been done as well, so I'm going to go ahead and get the assets created now, so when Rob comes back he can get that sent off to Nintendo.
Back to the Coloring Pixels artwork. I've finally finished getting all of these Easter Island statues drawn. Wow, this took a long time. This image is huge, even though the statues themselves aren't too big. Altogether, the length is about 465 pixels long, so it is huge. And I haven't even finished the image yet, but I'm really happy with them. I think I've got them all pretty spot on. They've all got subtle differences in the faces. This one's obviously noticeably different. It's got a crack. This one's got a bit of a rock hat here. This one's significantly taller. But as for the rest, they're all sort of similar, but all have differences. This one's, for example, here, has a missing eye. But yeah, so I'm hopefully now, these are all done. I'm going to quickly go in, add to the floor, and add a sky in the background, and hopefully that'll be the image done.
So today's been a lot of sort of announcements and prep work for that sort of stuff. So first off is the Oceana book DLC for Coloring Pixels. Got that announced just after lunchtime. Just want to get the giveaway going, because this comes out in 2 weeks' time from today, hence the date up there. That's all announced. Got people hyped for that already. The competition's running. I think I'll be over the time the video's out, but I've already got 133 people in the competition, which is pretty good. Other than that though, been playing around here in the bot command center, where we've got a little chat room where we test bots. Because we've had issues with the call bot over here. This was what we used previously for scheduling messages, but the past few DLC, the scheduled messages either been not happening or coming through quite a few hours late, as per the time that you put into the actual scheduled message. So found this new bot called Scheduler, which you can see lots of test messages up here. It does send, you can attach images, you can attach links. I was testing if you can at people, stuff like that. It looks like it's doing quite well, so I've gone ahead and scheduled messages for the weekend. So we've got the Flags DLC for Wooloop. That's coming out tonight as of this video, so that's scheduled for 4 hours time. And then we've got the screenshot Saturday and the actual YouTube premiere video as well. That is also going live tomorrow, so make a little announcement post in Discord so people are aware of that as well. So yeah, that's all of the announcement posts all scheduled to go out, and I'm going to go ahead and finish up the next long form video, version 2 of this, I guess. I'll get that ready so I can start exporting over the weekend as well.
Hello! This week I've been working on the house extensions, trying to make them look similar to the default house that Jack's made. It has been quite challenging and fun at the same time because this is the extension plan that Rob gave me. It does look like a factory there, but I've been trying to make it look more like a house. It is huge. It does look like a village. Sorry, Rob. It does look like a village. I'm sorry. This is the starting house. You start with, it's very, very small, and then this will be the extension. Almost finished working on this. And then only a whole town to do after that.
Okay, so this week it's another Skylet week. However, this week we're going to be focusing primarily on the main character of the game, as a lot of work is needed to sort of polish it up and add some new stuff. And I hope you can tell by Rob's scramblings here, there's a few things that we need to do. I'm primarily working on this right list today, this bit here. So we need some fishing animations, some cooking animations, and building large buildables. Rob's with Gandalf in brackets because he wants to sort of, you shall not pass pause for the building large ones. And I've started today with the fishing. Yesterday I did do some tweaks to the overall mesh, tidied it up a bit, but that's quite boring to show. So for the fishing, we've got the starting pose from the action ready pose that we usually have for everything that involves the crook, and then he swings it like that. Looks pretty cool. I think the animation looks quite smooth. I'm quite happy with this. If I turn off the button, it's actually a bit easier to see. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And I'm currently working on the idle right now, which is essentially him just wrong one, which is the character just sort of sitting with the crook. I don't know where the crook's gone. Oh, I know where the crook's gone. Yeah, so we found something else as well yesterday, is that the crook sort of needs to be disappeared in certain animations. So in idle, means just standing, there's no crook. And I've set up this thing, I'm going to show this now because I need to keyframe it in. But the crook now has a scale and a bone of its own. So when the crook isn't involved in an animation, I essentially just keyframe it and set it to 0, so then nothing's in his hand. So if I just set this to 0, the crook vanishes, and I can keyframe that in because it's all attached to the same rig. So I'm going to mess around through the animation today and see how far we get, but I do need to do some testing with other things as well, such as some clipping on the back here, and the belt needs some touches up as well as it keeps bending the wrong way. So yeah, a lot to do today, but hopefully the character will look a lot better by the end of the day. Okay, so this morning's a little bit of a change of plan. Originally I was going to be working on the character animations, however I'm a little stumped with them, admittedly. I'm sort of not really sure which direction to go in with them. So I've decided to do something a little bit creative this morning, just try to get the head back up and running. And I decided to go for Wendy, as I thought this is sort of the next step for the Skylets. I think this is sort of a job for next week, but I thought I would just start it now, so that'll save a bit of time for next week anyway. And overall, it's come along pretty well. I'm really happy with the head, and I'm just currently trying to figure out the body. The body's quite hard because I'm essentially going from one piece of air quotes concept art, which is essentially a sketch did on the train on the way back from Comic-Con, and although it gives this sort of, personality of Wendy, she's quite cute, she's quite there. I don't know, she's got like a very sort of chibi look. The pose isn't in a pose where it's on all four legs, so I'm trying to imagine how it's going to look, and she's got very small legs. And right now, I'm not so keen on this sort of body I've got going here. I think what I need to do is really shrink in the legs. And obviously, it's also important to imagine that there's going to be a big mane here as well of fur. That's going to cover up a lot of her neck. So I'm definitely trying to figure things out. The head itself is pretty much there. I'm going to tweak up the horns a bit. I think I might make them a touch longer and maybe make them a bit more jolt. You can't really see what I'm doing there, can you? A bit more sort of separate them from the sort of skull a bit, just so they've got a bit of a ridge here. But it's definitely got that sort of cute cubone look, which I quite like. So I'm going to continue this for a little bit longer and see if I can get the body to a state, and then I might jump back over to the character once I feel a bit more comfortable
doing so.
Yeah, so the past few days I haven't been doing any devlog updates, just because I've been working on Current Pixels Collection 4. As you can see, we've got running here. Getting it running on the Switch has been a huge issue, so I've had to update the Unity version, which means updating the Nintendo SDK version, which means stripping everything out, making sure that the right .NET versions are required. Apparently you need 2 separate versions and have to be specific. It's been a whole thing. It's been like literally the past 3 days. But yeah, it managed to get a build running, and fingers crossed we should be able to get this submitted this week to LotCheck, which is really good, because I know Lee's done some work on the assets for the images here, and all of the levels have been QA'd, so we know that it all works. We just need to finish off with the localization, and I think there's one bug I have to fix, then we can get it submitted. But yeah, getting the build actually working again, so that when you unplug it, it doesn't crash. Yeah, that's just been a huge step.
Okay, so I'm having a lot of fun this morning. As you can see, the mesh for Wendy is done, and I've already started texturing it, and overall it's coming on pretty well. I've been working on this pretty much all morning, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Wendy has definitely a sort of unique colour palette where it's a lot more washed out than the rest of the Skylets, but this is sort of how a traditional Wendigo would look in terms of like the colour. So I wanted to keep that sort of, you know, the same. And it's come on pretty well. So what I wanted to do is, I was noticing that as I was designing Wendy, in terms of the texturing, it was looking a bit plain. I was always going to do a bit of markings on the back here, but then I was like, even with that, I still think it was going to look a bit plain. So I've decided to do something a little different, and that I've added some markings to both the skull and the back. It's not done, there's still a bit more to go, but I'm thinking this really helps the design. I quite like how this looks like it's been hand painted on by someone on the skull, and obviously the markings on the back, it just looks a lot more folklore-esque, almost a bit culty. I really think that helps bring out Wendy a lot more compared to the other Skylets. I think I'm going to do something with the feet here. I'm not entirely sure what. I was thinking of adding some sort of like a similar design to this, but on the feet, and I want to add something a little bit here as well. Initially, I was tempted to add some random markings. When I say random, I mean sort of just, you know, quickly draw some in, just obviously a bit more detailed than this, but just some random markings around Wendy, just to make her look a bit more, I don't know, like I said, a bit more folklore-esque. And I'm still tempted to do this, but I think I'm going to stick with the feet first and see how that looks. I'm thinking of adding some sort of like striped design here with the sort of circles up here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll see how that looks. But hopefully Wendy's texture won't take too much longer now.
I'm trying to get my work done, but I'm having quite a lot of trouble because there's like a wasp in the light above me, and it's just buzzing constantly, and it's freaking me out, and I'm really struggling. How can I get any work done with this thing just buzzing ahead above me? Okay, yeah, so another day of Current Pixels on Switch. We are getting there, we're pretty much there. So you can see I've updated the assets for the images, and also for the home screen, which is really good. Lee actually made those for me last week, I guess. Well, they were ready anyway. Localization is finished, it still needs QAing though, but it should all be good to go. But yeah, I've just been working on some level fixes. So one of the things that we do is for Current Pixels on Switch, because we can't, the code base is so old, we can't actually like modify levels for Current Pixels on PC, but for Switch, since we're kind of releasing a new game, we spend the time to QA the levels and to make any fixes that we possibly can. So we've QA'd all of the levels, which is one of the reasons why it took so long. There is an awful lot of comments and feedback for them. But yeah, I'm just going through them one at a time, trying to fix as many things as possible. A lot of them are just unnecessary colours. That's quite a common one, particularly for the older books. This level I'm working on now, Diner. So there's a couple of issues to fix on this one. I'll just show you. So the shadows for this 24/7 bit are going to the right and down, whereas for the top section here it is the opposite way. So one of them needs to be flipped. And I think the other comment here is missing an inner shadow on the bottom right corner of the inner shadow of the R on the Dino. Right, okay, so there's a pixel here that needs fixing. So I just quickly go in, grab that colour, and then do that there just to make it feel a bit nicer. And also double check the outline at the bottom of the image, right under 24/7. What is wrong with that?
Hola, soy Dora. Can you find where I asked?
Ah, right, okay, so the image is cut off here. So there's this sort of blue border we got going on, but because the image is cut off at the bottom, we need to basically expand the image and then add a little bit of extra blue underneath this black line. So it's just stuff like that we're noticing and trying to get fixed and right. And then fingers crossed, once we've done all of that, I'll get everything saved, do a build, and then submit it to Nintendo. So job done, and then fingers crossed we can crack on, and I want to get back onto Skystead Ranch as quickly as possible, to be honest. Okay, so it's that time of the year again. So the Rainbow Six Siege tournament is live. It's a really fast one because it's like the World Cup or something. I don't know. Yeah, I bought the Lego. We went to IKEA when we were getting the stuff for the desk over there, the legs. So yeah, we got an IKEA Lego set for the trophy this time. It all should be finished next week. I think it's literally like a speed run. It started on Wednesday and it ends on Sunday, so usually it takes longer. But yeah, I'm out, so someone else will be getting the trophy and the day off.
Okay, so as you can see, the texturing for Wendy is done. I did stick with those sort of tribal markings that I discussed this morning, and overall it's really paid off. Wendy looks a lot better. I also did the shiny as well real quick, which I'm going to have to remember where the layers are. I think it's these ones. Boom, boom, boom. Turn those on. There we go. Oh no, hold on, one more. There we go. So this is the shiny variant of Wendy, and these markings up here are going to glow. I'm not sure if I've got the emissive already on. I do, there you go. So this one, there'll also be an emissive on these stripes. I just don't have it turned on right now. There we go, cool. Yeah, so it's going to be a sort of pinkish hue, which I think will really work at night time, because obviously Wendy comes out at night. So yeah, Wendy's looking really cool, and for the majority of the day, actually, I've been working on the rig. Unfortunately, the rig hasn't went quite as well as the texturing, but we are getting there. So unfortunately, when I rigged it, when you weight paint or when you attach the rig to the mesh, sometimes when automatic weights kick in, it can do a lot of the work for you. In this case, it didn't. For some reason, it just made the mesh really messy and unclean. So I spent a lot of the time here just going through and making sure all the weight paints are clean and everything, you know, everything is parented correctly. But that does take a while when you're essentially just doing it manually. But we're getting there, we're really close now. I'm currently working on the ears, and as you can see, lots of nice smooth gradients there. Someone could do a bit of work actually, but as you can see, I can just go in there and smooth those out. So I've got a little bit more to go, because if I should display it now, the rig still isn't working the way I want it to. So if I move the root bone here, you can see there's a bit of clipping down here, which I don't like. And the fur is sort of getting a bit messy down here, so a little more work to go, but definitely a lot better than it looked at lunchtime.
Whoa, what week are we on? It's the first Friday of the month, so next week is Colouring Pixels.
It'll be out.
As of this video, and the Hexeed will be coming out soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we've got Wooloop. The Wooloop store page will be out. We've got 12 levels done for Magic.
Yeah. Cool.
I feel like we've just done it. Like,
Done it? Are you recording now?
Yeah.
We're done?
We're done.